hello, and welcome to a new series called Syntakt Sound Design Secrets. I get quite a few comments or remarks on the videos that I do or the snippets of music that I post where people say this doesn't sound like a Syntakt at all, or I've never been able to get these sounds out of my Syntakt, and similar very nice comments. So I thought I would try break down a bit sort of like my process of sound design, and not as much go into like the whole how to make a techno bass or whatever, but just have a bit more sort of like broad strokes videos that explain some of the concepts and ideas about how I would go about designing a sound, or how I just approach the Syntakt in general. For this first edition, I would kind of like to talk about, I guess, abusing machines or just using machines in a way that they're not intended in the first place. I am going to take the standard template sounds and have a look at them and see what the actual parameters are, and then just break it down a bit and make something else out of them. So hopefully this is going to be interesting. And yeah, let's go. So let's have a look at our first machine here, which is the BD Modern, which is a leftover. Not leftover. It's been inherited from the model cycles. So, what is a kick drum? What is a bass drum? Basically, it's just an oscillator with a pitch envelope, right? And the pitch envelope in this case is the sweep. So, if we turn this off, then you basically have a tone, right? So, and now we have a couple of parameters here where you can change the sound of the oscillator. And now if we lengthen the decay, or even just go to our amp envelope, and because as you might have noticed, all percussive sounds by default have the AHD envelope, attack, hold, decay, while all melodic sounds by default have a standard ADSR envelope. If I apply this ADSR to my bass drum, I basically just have a synth sound now. Now, you still have a bit of the clicky attack, but, adding a bit of attack gets rid of that. And also, if I now just go play in a bit of a higher register, I have a synth sound. And it's sort of a bit of a noisy oscillator sound, which you now can just do all the standard things to, like adding a bit of filter. Maybe add a bit of reverb. Let's add a bit of pitch modulation, like vibrato. Very slight. And maybe take this triangle mod and also modulate that. now with a couple of simple steps, we have taken our kick drum and just turned it into something completely different, which you wouldn't as easily get from all the other machines just because of the character of this kick drum sound. And obviously you can use like the mod envelope here just to shape the triangle modulation a bit if you would want to. And use the bass width filter to further, make it like a really thin sound and just have it, not resemble a bass drum at all. And what you can also do is add portamento. Maybe do like a different envelope, a filter envelope. See, now you have this sort of like modern lead sound. So it's very worthwhile doing these things. Just taking a single machine and then just try to make something with it that it's not intended to do. You'll learn a lot about the machines themselves, but also just how to use other machine agnostic elements like the filter, LFO, and the effects to help shape those sounds. So that's one. So now if you go to the second sound, which is the snare drum. The snare drum is sort of similar to the kick drum in the sense that it has a tonal component, a pitch envelope, but then there's also some noise involved. But you can basically do the same thing. If you get rid of the sweep, and set this to ADSR again, the envelope. You now sort of have this complex tonal oscillator sound. It still has this sort of like cracking noise thing at the start. But again, if you add some attack, it almost turns into this sort of like flute-like sound, which you then can shape with the envelope and the filter. So, pretty far from a snare drum now, right? And it's very simple. You take away the pitch envelope, you take away the attack, and suddenly you have a completely different sound. And then it's just a case of tweaking the inharmonicity and the frequency complexity. To get like an interesting core sound, which you then, can do whatever with. Same here. So it's almost like a more like percussive melodic sound now. pretty far from Snaredrum. So that's how I would approach the idea of changing the Snaredrum into something else. Let's see, our third track, that's the clap, right? The clap vintage. So, again, the clap consists of two elements, which is a noise component and the body, which is sort of a tonal component. Which you can hear if you open up the envelope a bit. You know, which is already sort of like different than, you know, what you would expect from a clap. But here as well, if you change the amp envelope to ADSR, you get a very interesting behavior here. Because normally a clap would be... it's basically a noise component that has like a very quick sort of like amp envelope applied to it. So you get this really quick, and then it's, you know, then it decays. But having actually a sustain phase here, it means it will constantly hold this, basically this amp envelope that's being looped. And then you can, you know, change the speed with the spacing crunch parameter. And in this case, change the tone of your body. So now, again, we have this sort of interesting melodic sound, which you can then again shape with the filter. I don't know, what is this? This is like a mandolin or something. Or sole mio. Anyway. So this is, you know, this is a sound that I wouldn't really know how to get from any other machine, you know? And it really doesn't scream like, oh, Syntakt, you know, at all to me. It's completely... So yeah, definitely give that a go as well. Let's see, that was the clap. Let's, I mean, I don't want to make this too long because I guess you sort of get the gist now. Let's do one more. So this is a melodic sound. And has the ADSR envelope. So let's change. So if then, you know, if we take this FM sound and for instance, we want to make this a more percussive sound like a kick drum or whatever, the only thing you need to do is add a percussion envelope. One. And then you have the beginnings of a kick drum. And then you can use all the parameters of the FM synth to shape the sound of this kick drum. And then you can obviously change the speed of the pitch envelope to sort of like shape the attack a bit. So it's kind of reverse engineering your sounds a bit, right? So you go to the kick drum, it's like, okay, what is a kick drum made of? And as said before, it's a tonal component and a pitch envelope. So then conversely, if you want to take another sound and turn it into a kick drum, you do the same things. You know, you make sure you have this tonal component and then you add a pitch envelope, and then the basics of a kick drum are there. And then you can just shape the tone of it with filters and overdrive and whatever. Similarly, if you want to do like a snare drum, you have to think about like, okay, what does the snare drum consist of? And then again, it's the tonal component, it's a noise component, and you have the pitch envelope. Now, if I would want to recreate that with another machine, it would at least need to have something of noise and tone in there, right? So Sybits, for instance, Sybits has tone and noise. So it would be an ideal candidate to make like a snare drum type of sound. I have a whole pack of sounds that were made exclusively with Sybits because it's one of the most versatile machines in the Syntakt, just because it has all this, you know, it has noise, it has multiple oscillator sounds, it has like sample rate and bit reduction to add, you know, all kinds of textures to it. So you should try and think about machines in that way, like break them down to their components and then using it in a completely different way than it was quote unquote meant to be used. Anyway, I hope this was useful and educational in a way. Please let me know in the comments your ideas for machine abuse. As said before, I'm planning for this to be sort of like an ongoing series where I spend one video on explaining a single concept. Let me know if there's any ideas you want explained, and I'll try to put them in the mix. As always, thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe, and I will be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.